Hello everybody, my name is Miss Peña. I am Deputy Head Teacher at the school and I would like to welcome you to our presentation on the process we will follow to award teacher assessed grades this summer. You will be aware that for the second consecutive year, the government has cancelled the summer exams. Last academic year, the exams were replaced by centre assessed grades. This year, exams have been replaced by teacher-assessed grades. It is important to understand at this point the difference between those two processes. Teacher-assessed grades are not a prediction. They are purely determined by the evidence of a student's performance. This is why this year schools are required to collect evidence of the standard of work produced by the students. Teacher-assessed grades are subject to both internal and external quality assurance processes. Therefore, exam boards will undertake quality assurance activities to check that schools have appropriate processes and appropriate evidence to validate the grades awarded to students. When we designed this system, at all times we have taken into consideration the need for this process to be fair, robust, reliable, and evidence-driven. Our aim is to create sufficient opportunities for students to build a body of strong evidence. We want our students to receive a grade that reflects their ability and enables them to progress to the next stage of their education or employment. In order to gather enough positive evidence, we are going to give students the opportunity to collect evidence across 3 assessment windows. You can see on the table that these assessments will be spread across 10 weeks. This is to balance the need to provide students with sufficient opportunities to collect evidence of a strong performance, as well as the need to provide sufficient lesson time where our teachers can concentrate on revision and preparation for the assessments. During evidence window 1, we will collect evidence on only 5 subjects. We felt it was very important to start the collection of evidence before Easter, rather than doing everything in the last 6 weeks. During evidence window 2, we will increase the number of subjects where students can collect evidence of a strong performance, and we will incorporate English language, as well as 4 option subjects. Evidence window 2 will be exactly the same as evidence window 3. Let me show you what this timeline looks like in a more visual way. You can see the 10 weeks that we have left to collect evidence. Evidence window 1 will take place in week 4. The next assessment window will be spread across week 5 and week 6, and the final evidence window will be during week 9 and week 10. On both evidence window 2 and 3, students will take a maximum of 8 assessments. This means that most of their time will be spent in lessons with their teachers, revising and preparing for their assessments. You can also see that weeks 1, 2, 3, 7 and 8 are dedicated to lesson time, where teachers will prepare students for their assessments. In order to provide further support and preparation for assessment window 2, during the Easter holidays, students will be provided with revision materials and topics to revise for assessment 2, and we also plan to offer revision sessions at school. In addition to that, we will also resume our period 6 sessions the weeks before the evidence windows and during the evidence windows as well. Once we have collected all of the evidence, at the end of week 12, we will send the final grades to the exam board, and exam results will be released on the 12th of August. Some of the courses that we offer are not exam-based subjects, and therefore the final grade will be their coursework grade. This is why the subjects on this list will not require to be part of our evidence window, and students will not need to sit any additional assessments. The final grade will be based on the coursework and the portfolio of evidence. Up to this point in the presentation, we have explained how we will collect evidence of a student's performance. Now I would like to explain how the evidence will be used to award grades. We believe that by having 3 opportunities where students can build a strong evidence of their performance, we have sufficient evidence to award a final grade that is a true reflection of their ability and hard work. On the screen, you can see a table that illustrates the number of evidence collected for each subject. So if you look at the second row, you can see that for English literature, maths, science, MFL, history and geography, we will have 3 pieces of evidence, and we will use those 3 pieces of evidence to work out the final teacher assessed grade. For business, computer science and English language, we will have 2 pieces of evidence. The reason for having 2 pieces of evidence for these 3 subjects instead of 3 is because in a real exam season, business, computer science and English language will have only 2 papers. At this point, it is important to highlight that although English literature, which you can see in row 1, in a normal exam season will be assessed by 2 papers, these papers are very lengthy. And by creating 3 smaller assessments in English literature, we can provide our students with the opportunity to demonstrate their deep knowledge and understanding of the 3 books they have studied this year in the subject. Therefore, they will have an opportunity to build a strong body of evidence in English literature. If I now draw your attention to the 4th row with food technology and design technology, you can see that there will be 2 written pieces of evidence in evidence window 2 and evidence window 3. Evidence 1 will be the coursework which they have completed in that subject, and we will use coursework alongside evidence 2 and evidence 3 to work out the final teacher assessed grade. As mentioned previously, art, IT and all of our BTEC subjects will have coursework, and the final grade will be the coursework grade. It is also important to remember at this point that we already have some prior assessment information on the performance of our students. That information was reported to you in the November CIU. In November, we also conducted practice exams in English and maths, and we hold that information in school. If this information of prior assessment data is positive, we will use it to influence and support the final teacher assessed grade. However, and the good news is, if that information is not as strong or positive as the students would want it to be, they now have 10 weeks to build a body of positive evidence of their performance. We are fully aware that this has been a very challenging year for everybody, and we want to make sure that our students are well prepared for their assessments. In order to do this, we will be making reasonable adjustments to the assessment process. We will be making shorter assessments. They will last only 40 minutes. We are only going to assess the students on topics that have been taught, and we will provide a revision list for each subject. Period 6 will be on offer as additional revision, and access arrangements will be in place. In order to accommodate these assessments across the next 10 weeks, we will use a combination of venues using classrooms and our normal examination venues. To maintain the integrity of this process, it's very important that students do not try to engage teachers in conversations regarding their grades. Teachers are not allowed to share information regarding grades, and we want to ask for your support as parents to ensure that our teachers don't feel under pressure to discuss grades with students. Over the next 10 weeks, we want everybody to concentrate on preparation for assessments and focus their thinking and energies on doing their best. Now that you're aware of our process for collection of evidence and the calculation of final grades, we want to tell you how the appeal process will work. Everybody who is unhappy with their final grade has the right to appeal. This will be a 3-stage process. Firstly, if you believe that your grade is wrong, you will contact the school and we will check for any administrative errors. If you still believe your grade is wrong, you will contact the school, and on your behalf, we will appeal to the exam board. The exam board will contact the school and we will investigate, asking for the evidence that we have used to award the grade. Once the exam board has concluded with their investigations, one of the following things could happen. The grade could stay the same, the grade could go up, or it could go down. We see this process as a real opportunity for students to demonstrate what they're really capable of. The 3 things that we want all of our students to do in order to fully prepare for their assessments. We want them to attend every lesson. We know that if they come to school and they're taught by our teachers, they will do very well. They must act on the feedback given and use all of the revision materials the teachers are producing for them. Attendance to period 6 will be crucial to have an additional opportunity for guided revision with their teachers. Everybody must remember that these grades are purely based on a student's performance and the evidence that they're going to provide for us over the next 10 weeks. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us using the email address on the screen. We will get back to you within 48 hours. I would like to finish this presentation by thanking everybody involved in the education of our Year 11s. A big thank you to our parents for their continued support, and a special mention to our teachers, a group of talented and caring professionals who will always go above and beyond the call of duty to ensure our students feel supported. It has been an absolute pleasure for me to work with your children, and we wish them all the best in their forthcoming assessments. We hope you found this presentation useful and informative. If there is anything else that you need, please get in touch with us.